Hey, what's going on? It's Joe Rock, and very psyched to have with me via Zoom from Night Ranger, Jack Blades. How's it going today, Jack?
Hey, it's going great. It's going great. ATBPO, baby. Brand new album. How can it not be great?
So I have to ask. So ATBPO stands for "And the Band Played On." Why not just call it "And the Band Played On"? You're killing me with that name.
I know, right? I mean, that's what people are saying. It's like, I've got it down now, like ATBPO, but everybody's like, what the fuck? What are you saying? It's like wild. But here's, we thought, I mean, through everything that was going on with the pandemic and then with the band had issues. I mean, Brad had shoulder surgery, he tore his rotator cuff, and we had all these things going on and everything like that. And through it all, we just kept rocking and rolling and recording and playing and writing songs and all that kind of stuff. So I thought it'd be a great, great title, and the band played on. We thought it'd be a great title for the album. And then Kelly always loved, our drummer, Kelly Kagi, always loved that, OU812, the Van Halen thing.
Yeah.
So he said, why don't we just use the initials? Why don't we just do ATBPO? So it's not like this big "and the band played on." It was like ATBPO. And so, on the other side, we'll put "and the band played on." So that's what we did. Just fun. It's all fun at this stage. We
Amen.
like to have fun.
I got to tell you, the thing that jumps out at me right away from the album is harmony, whether it's the guitars, whether it's the vocals. How difficult, because like you said, like if I understand, you started pre-pandemic, but really got into the meat of it during the pandemic, recording separately. How difficult it is to get all those harmonies together for this album?
It was, we actually started this whole album right in the middle of the pandemic. We started right around, the end of the year last year. And it was a drag, man. It was a stone drag, I got to tell you, because we're so used to all of us getting in a room, setting up our gear, jamming, playing songs, just coming up with ideas. And the minute we came up with the idea, we'd go in the studio and record it, and so keep it fresh, keep it exciting, keep it just really up and rocking and everything like that. But so with this thing, we were all remotely, we had to all like send it into into one spot and everything like that. So we all recorded separately. I mean, Kelly did the drums in Arizona. I did all my vocals here in my studio up in above Seattle, and Carrie was down in the Orange County, OC, and
Mhm.
It's just Eric and Brad are in the Bay Area, so San Francisco Bay Area. So it was it was difficult. I mean, some of these tracks, like everybody would be sending in tracks. I mean, some of these songs had like 150 tracks on them, and we were like, oh, and like I had to I guess I drew the short straw. I had to like filter through all this stuff with my engineer Anthony Fox, and we just went through everything, and we had to oh my gosh, like use this part and use that part, and came up with this, and some people hadn't heard this part on this song, and they didn't know, so they played something over this part, and so this didn't work with this, and guys are calling me going, hey, what happened to my part? Wait a minute, well, it didn't work with this. Well, I didn't even know that was on there. Well, this part works better. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm telling you, it was like a pain in the ass. But the final outcome, though, through it all, we really focused on album's got to have a groove. It's got to feel like it has a groove. It's got to feel like we were all together. So we really, really honed in on that and focused on that vibe. And I think that we accomplished our goal with this album, the ATBPO record, because I think it really just grooves, and I think it's one of the more rockin' records that we put out in the last like 5-6 years.
Yeah, I certainly can't argue with you. All the different songs, like just opening up with "Coming for You," that's like a great song that pulls you right in. I'm loving "Breakout." I hear, like you and I have discussed before, your love for Thin Lizzy, and I can feel some of that in "Breakout," the first single.
Yeah. I mean, this band, we formed the band in 1980, and we were all Lizzy fans. I mean, think about it, 1980. For those of you around in 1980, Thin Lizzy was like, the boys are back in town, jailbreak, and this is where their heyday, almost, and so we were huge Lizzy fans. I mean, if you think about Night Ranger, 2 twin guitar harmonies and a bass player that sings, we just added a keyboard player, and so yeah, there's "Hard to Make It Easy" is another song that I think has a lot of Lizzy influence in it with the guitars and everything like that.
Well, the thing about Hard to Make It Easy is, you have some different kind of stuff going on. Like, but Hard to Make It Easy kind of has like a bluesy kind of thing going on there. You can hear it in the groove, you can hear it in the piano. The thing that I was kind of fascinated about is Can't Afford a Hero. You got this ballad going on, and it's got a country tinge to it. Don't get me wrong, it rocks, but it's got that country tinge to it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, Can't Afford a Hero is, I mean, Brad played a great intro on that thing. I mean, it was just beautiful. Just really set the song apart from everything else. His guitar intro on that thing, and I came up with that song. I was just sitting in my room, just kind of strumming on an acoustic guitar, just just coming up, and I just started singing. It's like, and a little out of tune. Sorry about that. Yeah, there you go. And I was just, I started singing the song, and when you're lost and lonely and there doesn't seem to be a plan, put yourself back up again. I mean, so it just came. That whole song came about in about, I don't know, about 30 minutes. I wrote the whole, the music and the lyrics and everything like that. And I went in and played it for my wife, and she started crying, and that's when I knew it might be a pretty good song.
Yeah.
Because I hit her in the soft spot, man. Pow! Got her right where it counted. You know what I mean?
Well, it's funny because I hear tiny bits of other bands in there too. I mean, it's absolutely a Night Ranger record. I'm going to say one thing now. Luckily, we're not in the same place, because I don't know if you're going to take offense to this one or not. But just the one song, and strictly just the count off. I forget which song it is on the album. You count off with the 1, 2, 3, 4. And when I first heard it,
it's Tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
It sounded just like the count off that Bon Jovi does on Born to Be My Baby. And I was like, did a double take. I'm like, wait a minute, what was that?
Really?
Yeah. Just listen to them. It just caught my ear. And then, of course, dance, the drums, just slightly. I'm like, I hear Queen going on here.
Yeah, that was like, I got that idea from that. I always love that song, "Life Is a Highway" by Tom Cochrane.
Oh yeah, from Night Ranger.
Like
right.
Is a highway, I wanna ride it all night long. You know what I mean? I was like that. And I always like that vibe, and I always thought it would be a great thing to get the audience doing it. And of course, the Queen, "We Will Rock You" and stuff like that. So we put that at the beginning of that, and in the break and stuff like that, just because it's just fun. I mean, why not have fun? Why not get everybody involved? Why not stomp your feet and clap your hands? Why not have all this stuff going on? Why not enjoy it? I mean, that's kind of where we're at with that.
Well, you know what, man? I have to tell you something. Fun is absolutely exactly what I think of when I think of Night Ranger, because the very first time we spoke, which is years ago now, I had to do the interview, and it's like, you were on the West Coast, I was on the East, and it's like, okay, it's going to be a few hours difference. I had to be there late at night. I'm like, I'm really exhausted, man. I don't know if I really want to do this. And we got on the line. We'd never spoken before, and you were just a rip. I got done with the interview, and I was like, man, that was great. And that's how your shows are. Like, when the band comes out and play, like, you have a great time. Like, if anybody who's watching this, if you have not seen Night Ranger live, they're out on the road for this ATBPO. Go see this tour, because you're going to see, if you haven't seen it before, you're going to see a great night of fun rock and roll the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean, at this stage of the game, that's all we want to do is have fun. I mean, we don't really have to prove anything anymore. We are who we are. I mean, like I said, next year we're celebrating our 40th anniversary and of the release of Dawn Patrol. I can't believe it's been 40 years, so we're just out there having fun. I mean, backstage, when you come in a dressing room before we go on, we're all laughing and joking. There's no uptight vibes. We're all like, just goofing and fooling around and playing songs and just goofing and having shots of tequila. I mean, that's our pre-show warm-up vibe. You know what I mean? And then we just get out on stage and we just have a ball, and we throw in songs that we want. I mean, we change our set every night. We do, whatever we got going. We'll throw in some classic old Night Ranger track. We'll do anything. It's really fun. You know what I mean? And that's like I said, that's where we want to be right now. And that's where we want to be for the next 5-10 years. Just going out there and having a blast, having fun. It's the same thing with Sammy, and that's why we're touring with Hagar next year. Sam's the same way. It's just like, it's fun. Let's go out and let's be with people that we like. And man, we love our audience, and the fans have just been great. And right now, I don't know who's more excited, the fans and the audience or the band, by being back in live music and being up on stage again. Because it's just like, everybody's just, wow, we're back. We can play, we can sing, we can dance, we can do all those kind of things.
Yeah, well, you talk about live shows. It makes me kind of wonder, because I always want to know where artists came from. So I'm curious, who was the first concert that you went to see?
The Monkees. The first concert I went to see was the Monkees in Phoenix, Arizona, back in 1965. I was like, 10, 11 years old, something like that. And it was, it was the Monkees. Then the second show that I ever went to was 68. And so what was I, 15 then? And that was Three Dog Night and Steppenwolf in Phoenix. And that was killer. That was, I think, 68, so yeah, I mean, that's, that kind of, my influences are all over the map. When I first moved to San Francisco, I came up and I was, I went in the studio and I was playing with Sly Stone. Jerry Martini, the sax player for Sly and the Family Stone, brought me up from the Bay, from Southern California to start a band called Rubicon. And I went in the record plant in Sausalito and did some recording with Sly and stuff like that. Nothing ever came out, of course. But and then we started the band, the funk rock band, because I loved, at that time, I was playing sort of funk bass, funky bass stuff and everything like that. I mean, you can see a video of us at Cal Jam 2. I think there's a video on YouTube or something like that of the Cal Jam 2 in 1978, and people are like, "That can't be you. Is that you? Is that you? That can't be you." So anyway, that my influences are all over. And like in the late 60s, I was deep into like, British rock, British, sort of like, Deep Purple and all the, Queen, Disraeli Gears, Cream, all those kind of bands. I was really deep into that stuff. So it's kind of like all those influences kind of shaped who I am and the music that I play now. And that's basically who I am.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you mention that, because, I play in a band. My bass player is actually Mark the Animal Mendoza from Twisted Sister. And when I told him I was going to be speaking to you, he's like, ask him about Rubicon, because he had a whole different style. He was like doing the slap bass and everything.
I know. I was like Larry Graham. I was like from Sly. I was like that. It was like all Sly. It was like the Brothers Johnson, Larry Graham, all that kind of stuff. I'm not even sure I can do that now. I'm not going to like embarrass myself and do it on right now.
I was hoping you were going to reach for
yeah, reach for the bass and start going. You know what I mean? It's crazy, right?
Too funny. But now you guys are heading down the road. I know you've had a couple guests lately. Corey Taylor came out and performed with you, and you had Gilby Clarke sit in for one gig.
Yeah, just a couple days ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So
at Sturgis.
So how is it to have all these other people who are coming in and joining your party?
Hey man, that's the way it should be. That's the way. This is rock and roll. The hell with all that, like, uptight, we got to do our thing. It's like, no, man, it's like, hey, freaking grab a guitar, get over here, play with us. I mean, Corey, I know Corey, Brad and I, met him through Eddie Trunk. We did on that metal show or something like that. And he was, Corey's a fan of Night Ranger. He kind of, grew up with that, with our music and stuff like that. So we were playing a show. What was it? It was Rockfest or I think it was Rockfest or one of those shows like 3 weeks ago or something like that. And it was it was Night Ranger. Then it was Phil Anselmo, from
I can't think of the name now. I know
Heaviest,
and yeah.
Right, exactly.
Pantera,
from Pantera, and then Corey Taylor and Limp Bizkit. And we're like, how the frick is Night Ranger? We're like, okay, let's just go and we'll be Night Ranger and play. And then Corey was there, and we knew Corey. And I said, Corey, he goes, dude, Don't Tell Me You Love Me. I love it. It's one of my favorite songs of all times. I love that tune. I said, come on up on stage and sing the second verse. And he goes, really? I said, yeah, you want me to write out the lyrics? He goes, dude, I know the lyrics. I got the song. I got the whole song. I know the lyrics. You don't have to write out anything. I got it. I said, well, come on up. So he and his band were watching the show, pretty much our whole show on the side of the stage. And we came to Don't Tell Me You Love Me. And there's, I had my mic out there and I sang this after the first chorus. I look over at him and he's back there and he goes, you want me? And I just grabbed my mic and walked right over and just handed it to him and just grabbed it. And out he came. He sang, he's killed it. The second verse of Don't Tell Me You Love Me. And then Gilby, our guitarist Kerry Kelly had he screwed up his knee. He's got like a torn meniscus or something. Had to have surgery. Has to have surgery on his knee. So we were playing Sturgis just 4-piece, and we're like, okay, we'll just go out there and play it and do a thing, because it was on Monday night. It was us and Stone Temple Pilots at Sturgis at the Buffalo Chip. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, it's like Monday afternoon. I'm sitting in my hotel room getting ready to go to gig, and I get this call on my phone. It's like Gilby Clarke, and I know Gilby from the Kings of Chaos and doing some stuff with him. And Gilby's a great guy. I mean, Gilby's freaking awesome, bro. He's a great guitarist, fun guy, up to sing everything, play everything. He can do, whatever. He's just a great musician. And so I'm like, he's like, hey, I just got in town. We just drove from LA. Like, my buddies and I just drove, 500 miles a day on our bikes to come to Sturgis. And we just got in town. He said, and you're playing tonight. So we thought we'd come over. I said, no, dude, you're coming over, but you're playing with us. And he's like, what? I'm like, you're going to freaking play. You're going to play some songs with us. And he goes, okay. And so he came in, we got him in there early, and he knew the songs because we did some Kings of Chaos stuff before. So he jammed on, Don't Tell Me You Love Me and Sister Christian and Rockin' America with us. It was great. It was wonderful. Gilby's vibe is just the best, So that's the way rock and roll should be. Where we are right now, man, we don't have to prove anything, but we just want to have fun, and we want to bring our friends up and play. We want to jam. 2 years ago when we were touring with Hagar, Hagar grabbed me and I'd come out on stage and sing, come on, baby, kids are broken hearted, I'm incomplete, and all that kind of stuff. And he'd get out here. There ain't no way to treat the broken. He said, you sing it. He'd go, Blade. He'd point to me and sing it. I'm like, okay, I'll sing it. So that's the way it should be. You know what I mean? So we love it when our friends come up and jam with us and stuff.
There you go. I love that, man. I got to tell you now, not that I wasn't already, because like I said, after that first time I spoke to you, I'm like, this guy gets it. Like this is what rock should be. And honestly, like, I don't know if you realize on your end, to get to this interview today, we had like 3 different tries before we could get here. I had to cancel a couple of times. You had to cancel once. And I kept telling your publicist, I'm like, look, I love the other guys in the band. I've spoken to Brad. I've spoken to Kelly. And I'm like, I want to talk to Jack. Like, I want to talk to Jack, man. Like, he's the man. No offense to the other guys in the band. I love them all. And the band's great, but I got to talk to Jack. And I just want to know, what's going to happen on this tour. So I thank you for spending the time.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that canceling. It was like, it was when Dusty Hill passed away. And, we've known those guys for like 37 years, man. We played with them back in 1985 and they were great friends. And then all through the damn Yankees era, Billy and Frank Beard's a real good friend of mine and all that kind of, and Dusty, I've known the Dust forever and ever and ever. And basically that pretty much crushed me for about that whole week. And I'm sorry about that, knocking it down there, but I mean, I just wasn't in the mood to be all rah, 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 go, go, go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but so God bless Dusty Hill, man. He laid the bottom for the top for all those years, for 50 years. And that was some of the best stuff ever, man, ever. So anyway, let's all say a prayer for our Dusty, huh?
There you go. So listen, Jack, I'm sure you got a million other things to do. Thank you for spending the time with me. The album is
anytime.
There you go. The album is ATBPO. Got it.
You got it right. You got it right.
12th album, and the band played on. Go pick it up. So many great songs coming for you. Breakout. Bring It All Home to Me. Hard to Make It Easy. Can't Afford a Hero. Dance. I'm telling you, I love the whole album. Check it out. You're going to love it. You'll be glad you did. And we look forward to seeing you on the road.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, we're going to be out there. We're playing all the festivals now. And boom, next year, this fall, we're going to be out there with everybody. And next year, we're going to be rocking and rolling. Nothing's going to stop this band. ATBPO, baby. And the band played on. That's us.